Let me ask you because, and this is, and this, I think this is a topic that bears discussing. There is a sort of a body positivity, healthy at every size, sort of movement out there. And again, I don't think anyone that's obese or in any way should be ostracized. Just like we don't ostracize diabetics, we don't ostracize people
Right.
with dementia or anything else. But do you find that, what is your thought on the messaging that, we have people saying obesity is healthy and fine and there's nothing wrong with that? Does that concern you? And I mean, because I imagine, there was a thought that made you want to lose that weight. You didn't just persist at 500 and say, I'm good, enjoy it. I'm happy. So what are your thoughts on that? Is that something that's a message that maybe has some problems with it, or what are your thoughts on that sort of messaging?
Well, I appreciate the message that you put out. I think it was a few weeks ago, maybe a couple months ago, and one of the magazines had put one of the big ladies out there and said, "This is healthy," and you said, "What in the world are people thinking?" I mean, that's just stupidity. And you're absolutely right. That is stupidity. There's nothing healthy about that. There's nothing wrong with having a good image of yourself. We are indeed created in the image of God. And so to have that positive self-image based on our creation is not a bad thing. But we also have to be realist and say that, God, when he created these bodies of ours, he created them to operate in a certain way. And if we are celebrating a detriment to the operation of that creation, that not only it doesn't make sense, but that's just lunacy. We don't celebrate, when somebody gets their arm blown off in war and say, "Yay! Now you only have one arm. Aren't you wonderful?" We don't do that. We offer them support and say, "How can we help you make sense of what's going on?" And I think that a lot of times in the culture we live in, sadly, today, there is a celebration of doing whatever you want to do without the responsibility to do what is right. And doing what is right not only is a moral issue or an ethical issue, but it comes down to a physical issue as well. And we need to take care of our bodies and the temples that God has given us for that very reason, to glorify what he has done in us, in order so that we can, be emissaries to the world of health and, his plan for humanity, which is, as he says in his word, to prosper us, to bring goodness to us, even as our soul prospers. So I'm concerned that we celebrate that type of thing. People don't have to have a six pack, and be bodybuilding type quality. That has problems in and of itself. But we do need to be healthy, and we should get rid of all the junk and the crap that we're eating and putting into our bodies, and maintain a good nutrient dense food coming into our systems. What you are a proponent of and many other people are proponents of. And I'll throw this out there, and stay away from the whole vegetarian and vegan thing. So I definitely agree with you on that. My wife did that for about 6 weeks. Doctor, it was terrible. Man, she ended up with bags under her eyes and the black rings around her eyes. Sex drive went, I mean, it was terrible. I'm glad it only lasted for about 6 weeks, and then she started eating steak again, which helped tremendously.
Are you still actively as a pastor? I mean, has that impacted your, this transformation in body weight? Has it changed you? How that's gone? Has it changed how the I guess the parishioners, or whoever I guess the flock, how they've perceived you? And has there been any feedback since you've lost all this weight?
That's a great question. The church I was pastoring last year, uh, COVID wreaked havoc within us. It was a small church. I pastored there literally with no pay for 10 years. So I was a volunteer pastor, full-time volunteer there. And the congregation was so small, and the number of people that when COVID hit, we took about an 85% hit in our giving, and the church ended up voting to close down. But since then, in January, I started at another church, and so they hired me in. I can tell you without a doubt that the new look, being 222 pounds lighter, even though, I'm still 321 pounds right now, which is pretty good size. And most people can't wrap their minds around weighing that much. But I'm really healthy right now. I mean, I'm down to a 42 in pants and a 3X shirt. So, which is still big, but for me, it's amazing. But I can tell you that I probably 99% would not have gotten the position where I am right now if I still would have been, 500 plus pounds. Because again, the perception of people. Who wants to hire that? Nobody wants to hire that, because of the stigma that comes with it. And it doesn't matter what it doesn't matter how much you care for people. If the perception of people is that you're a lazy bum and you can't help me because you can't help yourself, that's a problem. And so the position that I am in now, I can 99% guarantee I would not have it if I would still be at the weight where I was.